Good afternoon again.
Good afternoon, sir.
So, Nikhil, tell me something about you in brief. What Nikhil is all about?
So, yeah, myself, Nikhil Jain, from 2014 to 2018, I completed my BTech in automobiles from the Gitanjali Institute only. And I got campus placement from the Gitanjali to Liugong Construction Machinery. I was there, I was working as a manufacturing engineer. Then I got promoted to supply chain. Then I just switched my company to 2020 to supply Strideline LLC as a supply chain analyst. And as soon as I was working from home, I thought to start it again studies. I thought to start again my studies. So I took admission again in Gitanjali and work studying as a MBA here. And as I'm working in the supply chain department, so I thought to take the supply chain and operations. So overall, I'm going with this now supply chain department only, and my interest is in also has been created in. Although I was from automobile, my interest was in automobile only, but now, as in career, I've moved towards the supply chain. So now I have an interest in supply chain only.
Okay. How your supply chain interest came into existence?
Yeah, actually, when I was in my previous company, I was working as a manufacturing engineer. I was looking to the line, assembly parts, and everything. And suddenly, I was working on an ERP system, and that is I was working on the SCM module, and I was looking on that whatever we are importing from the China was we were importing from China and other countries. So to interact with the many peoples like abroad peoples and foreign peoples, and how was their working styles, the logistics, how they manage everything from one end to another end, how they fulfill the requirements, how they fulfill the forecasting and everything. So from that point, my interest was created in the supply chain, and it's still going on. And now also I'm looking towards the same supply chain and forecasting for the United States company.
Okay. As a BTech student, you were also excelling in your career, right?
Yes,
And
yeah.
everything was going well, and you are also performing well. So, why you have thought about MBA?
There were two things actually. First was that I came back to my home and work from home. It was initiated from my company, and then probably for next 2 to 3 years they were doing that. They you will working from home only. So I thought, while the time I was working as a professional, I can initiate my career once again. And for that, I got permission from my company that you can initiate the career, we will be going to support you. So I thought that is the best thing, that from two sides I got the permission, so I should excel my career once again.
Okay. Work from home is the best option for any employees or for the company point of view. It is good, or the work and the efficiency get impacted when we are working from home.
uh, from my point of view, when I was working from when I started in the last year, in the around from April, I'm working from home only. So I thought that we are just home and we are working like that. But now, to work at 8 to 9 hours at a home in a single room, no colleagues in front of you and no nearby, it sometimes it becomes a frustration. But yeah, it is good also that from company point of view, it is good because the table cost or the table cost maximum they have reduced, or it is quite low, because when an employee move to the office, there are lots of expenses are there. Table costings almost calculations are quite high. So from company point of view, it is good. But yeah, efficiencies also for the IT peoples, it has been increased. uh, like they can work anytime. And and the company also, some managers are also like that, ping they can ping anytime, like few companies that this is also going on. I shouldn't point out these things, but in some point of view, company point of view, it is good. They are saving their costings. From employee point of view, they are also good that we are with families. But sometimes it becomes that office should be there. So it like vice versa. Or
Okay. So efficiency never impacted when we are working from home, in your
yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
What is your future aim, Nikhil?
I my future aim to be a global lead supply chain. I want to be a global lead supply chain planner, and or I'm thinking to be a good forecasting manager, like who can forecast good things, what the company demand, analyzing the previous years and giving to the upcoming 3 months, 2 months forecast. That should be, I want to be more accurate. That I'm thinking to. And for that, what I can learn, I'm going with it.
What is the role of forecasting in the supply chain management?
Actually, to manufacture any product, we need to forecast, like in the upcoming 3 months, what we should manufacture and what that going to be sold or that going to be sell at that time, what in the next upcoming 3 months. So basically, we used to analyze from the previous years. Although pandemic was there, so pandemic 1 year has been passed, so there is a now experience of 1 year what we have sold in the, like suppose June month is going on, so I have a target that July, August, September forecast I have to do, what I can sell the products, or what my sales team can sell the products in the July, August, and September. What they have sold in the 2020, what they have sold in the 2019 when the pandemic was not there. So combining both the things using the different tools, I used to forecast for them. Accordingly, the factories used to purchase the raw materials. That figures are there that they are used to going to sell. Suppose A product 20 numbers are there, B product 40 numbers are there. So we are going to plan that 20 plus 40 60 products are there, what are their common raw materials, then they used to collect in and buy it, supply vendors are there, then further process the team used to do. But initial forecasting, that what we have got the sales data from the sales people, that 2019 2020 what they have did it, and what even I take the data from the sales, that what they are analyzing that we are going to sell in the upcoming 3 months. So analyzing both the all the 2 to 3 things, 3 factors, 4 factors, and I used to prepare a data.
In the supply chain management, what kind of distribution channels we have?
In the supply chain, there are many type of distribution. If I take my company example, we are having around 2 to 3 distribution channel. It is local based, domestic based, national based, and international based. There are 4 major channels, and apart from that, suppose a product is there, there are around 2 to 3 channels are also there, like what the product is selling to the direct customer, like B2C customers, what the salesperson are selling direct business to business persons, and sometimes they are selling to the factories also as a raw material. Sometimes we prepare it. So there are 2 to 3 different channels as per product wise. And if we look over to the logistics type, there are around 3 to 4 factors channels are there.
Okay. Okay, Nikhil. Nice talking to you. Over to Rathod, sir.
Nikhil,
Good afternoon, sir.
so what are you doing in the lockdown period?
In the lockdown, I'm just working for my organization from Monday to Friday, Monday to Saturday, even sometimes.
Okay. So what does your work involve?
My work involves basically a planning and the forecasting for the raw materials and analyzing the data from the sales team, and even the few peoples are there who works for the business development. So I just took data from them also and used to manipulate the data, and what I can do best output, that I used to analyze and provide to the raw material teams and factories.
Okay, Nikhil, you said you did your graduation or engineering with automobile.
Yeah, sir.
So from automobile, you worked in the automobile industry for some time, and then now you're switched over to.
Yeah, so there was I can say a little stories there, or I can communicate with that story. So basically, I was placed as a graduate apprentice trainee and working with the line engineers. I used to look over the whatever the assembly of the heavy construction machineries, like the rollers, pavers, motor graders, everything used to assemble over there. So I was at the line and I was just looking at the ERP modules of the material master and the production. These 2 modules I was just looking at as the I can say the core user or the super user. I was working with that, looking at that, like if any machine needs, suppose at the station one machine is there and they need around 1000 parts. So I used to just check the drawings, and then according to drawing I used to put those materials in my SAP part, and then SAP used to process those parts, and that material goes to the warehouse, and warehouse used to provide that material on the assembly line. These was the basic process. So I was just started learning about as a consultant also in the SAP ERP modules. But as every office having some kind of politics, so I faced that politics and I promoted to the supply chain department. and that's all I was working supply chain.
What is the future of electronic vehicles in India?
For now, I think EV is going to be around 2030. That will be the only part. As we can see, the fossil fuels prices are daily going to rise. Although there are alternate fuel sources are also there with the CNGs are there, but I think EVs are the part. And to make the future EVs better, just what we needed, the companies used to just provide the more efficiency. That is the only thing we needed for now.
So what
Else,
is the major or the biggest hindrance you feel in the Indian automobile industry to switch over to electronic vehicles?
major hindrance is that one thing I can say, the raw materials for the battery, which we are importing for now. What I have studied, like I am not from particular background as of from last 2 years, but I used to really studied. So what I have studied right now is we are just facing the issues with the raw materials of the battery. What this is the one thing, and another thing that we are facing the issues with the silicon chip also. That is also right now is in lacking part of India for the manufacturing of the battery or the EVs vehicle, as the microcontrollers are the major things for the EVs. To make the mindset of the people to purchase the EVs, the charging stations are still lacking it. Although metros are being equipped with the charging stations, but still to migrate with these rural areas or the 2 tier or 3 tier cities, still we are lacking the charging stations as of now. So this is the major hindrance, and I think this can be overcome in the upcoming years, in the couple of years, or maybe the 4 to 5 years. We can say this can be overcome,
So basically,
as I
you
think
think it has got a bright future in India?
this is only the future, bright future. Yeah,
Okay, Nikhil, how
yeah.
has your work experience, helped you or helping you in your MBA?
So I'm from supply chain department, and I thought to pursue my career in supply chain operations. So I think the principles going to help me in my career, because in the studies majorly we can't study the practical things what we are facing in the corporates, but yeah, the principles we used to study in the career, and that is going to excel my professional career, I think so.
To ensure optimum inventory management.
I think the optimum inventory management is the 45 days. This is the concept usually OEMs are planning right now, that 45 days inventory management is the best one. Like the very first day what we are purchasing it, and the resources or the planning of the manufacturing of the goods, that should be aligned with that only. And the 45 days planning is the only source that can give you a maximum profitability, as I think. Or the, I think the Sigma's courses are there, they
How
also
do you fine tune this?
uh, because in the like what we are having, the construction machinery products are they actually each single vehicle takes around to complete get manufactured around 3 days it takes. And coming to the rotation, every day we used to roll over the 5 vehicles. So calculating that particular 3 days, that each machine we are preparing in the 3 days, and calculating on that basis, we found that the 45 days inventory can be the good thing, that we can give the maximum output as per the our plant efficiency. If our plant efficiency is increased to, like we are rollovering the vehicle around 5 days, or we are any product we are rollovering the in the 5 days or the 3 days, then or we are having the proficiency efficiency of, suppose it increases to 7 or 10 per day, then 45 days comes to 30 days also, that can also be possible. So this can be the calculated base inventory management.
Okay, Nikhil, nice talking to you.
I just have a few inquiries related to your subject knowledge.
Yeah,
Your option is supply chain and logistics, right?
exactly.
Can you pinpoint the difference between the supply chain and logistic management?
Yeah, supply chain and logistics are interrelated, but logistics we can say it is the end part, and supply chain we can say it's the front end. Back end is the logistics, and front end we can say that's the supply chain. How? Because supply chain contains a lots of process, from planning, forecasting, operations, and when these all processes are completed, like from the raw material planning to the finished good planning, when we are having the output of the finished goods, now we have to move to that particular designated location. That product is going to be, the end location of the product is anywhere in any country, in any location. So that comes in the logistics part. So, and logistics parts also contains every lots of things, like it is going to be internationally, then customs parts included over here. If it is going on to the national, then state transits are included over there. If it is going to the locally or the inter districts, and various another kind of involvements are there. So like suggest so I'm from not from logistics department. I think that logistics should excel my knowledge also as a supply chain planner.
So supply chain, I think it's a very bigger picture and logistics is a part of it, right?
Yeah, we
Something-
can say it. Yeah.
Okay.
Main core, we can say core branch, we can say it like it's a supply chain, and
Yeah.
a part.
And a part is logistics. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. What is this compliance label is all about?
In terms of compliance level,
Compliance label, identification of a product, or in terms
Okay.
of whenever you export something, what is the significance of compliance label?
So compliance label almost gives you everything or the brief of that product. So these now the labels or the compliance label, sorry, these are become the mandatory part apart from the previous ones. In the previous scenario, in the like logistics part or the planning part, the labeling or the actually we were having the kind of the invoices also. But now after the few changes and the few transitions has been made, the compliance label has become the mandatory part for the each small product, which gives around every information for that. Even custom people used to look over on majorly custom people used to check these things, that any kind of hazardous or any kind of things are there or not. So the label is part of the mandatory part apart from the invoices or apart from the any kind of paperwork. The product information is can be provided by that compliance label.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's all from my side.